Namaste and welcome to session number 14. We are halfway through the second chapter of Patanjali's Yoga Sutra. Last time we were discussing out of the 8 limbs of Ashtanga Yoga, the first and second, Yam and Niyam, and they are mandatory, universal, Sarvabhauma, Mahavetam, great vows, and there can be no exception. And we were discussing Pratipaksh Bhavanam. If we are tempted to violate them, then we should do some sort of introspection, how they will harm us. So Paksha is the Patanjali side, what he is teaching us, and Pratipaksh is counter, opposite of that. If we follow the opposite, then the end result is Dukha, Jnana, Anant Phala. Dukha is pain and misery, suffering. Ajnan is wrong knowledge. And Anant means endlessly. And then he went on to say that we may do it directly, get it done, or approve it implicitly. And these wrongdoings are out of globe, krodh, moha. Desire to earn something illegitimately, anger, and delusion. Then he goes on to all the 5 elements of yam and 5 elements of niyam. I just want to comment on the second part, second element of niyam, namely santosh, that is contentment. We did state it. What he's saying is santoshat, means out of contentment, anuttama sukh labha. Sukh is, we have seen it, joy and pleasures of life. And what he's saying is, there is nothing comparable. You know, we go after all kinds of joys and pleasures of life, but the one that is derived from contentment has no comparison. So, as you will recall, a couple of weeks we have discussed at length that even what the layperson considers as sukh, sensual pleasure, is actually dukh. And that happens because of the first hindrance of avidya. So we are misunderstanding, misinterpreting dukh as sukh. What he's saying is, and that is what is the strategy of Kapil and Patanjali and ancient rishis, that to get away from dukh, one does not, it is not a very sensible approach to go after sukh. So we do want to get away from dukh, but dukh should not be replaced by sukh. That is not going to work out, because sukh is also nothing but sugar-coated dukh, so to say. So their strategy is not dukh nivetti, not getting away from dukh, but dukh atyant nivetti. That was the first statement of Samkhya, authority with dukh atyant nivetti, means absolute cessation of dukh, and not just mere worldly cessation of dukh. So this is a significant statement from Patanjali. What he's saying is, in order to gain wisdom of life, tentative approach is get away from dukh, but then the state that you have reached, you should be contented with it. So they are not saying you live with the dukh, you get away from dukh, but now you don't go after sukh. The state that you have obtained by being away from, because no human being will say, I am constantly in pain and suffering, because there is always a moment when you are void of pain and suffering. And that state you can consolidate as, I am contented with this state. And now what am I gaining? What is my effort? My effort is not towards sukh, but towards vivekyati, the highest wisdom. So, if you are in dukh, you cannot practice Patanjali's teaching. In order to practice Patanjali's teaching, you have to gain a equilibrium with respect to the worldly day-to-day events that affect you. But if you are contented, you don't allow, you kind of generate a fireball that worldly events do not affect you significantly. Okay, so that was a comment that between dukh and sukh we have discussed at length, but it's not that Kapil and Patanjali are suggesting learn to live with dukh. They also want us to go away from dukh, but not towards sukh, but towards santosh, contentment. Okay, so now that concludes the first two limbs of Patanjali's Ashtanga Yoga prescription, that is for the third category of people, and that is complete in respect, because as we saw in the early part, he is saying Ashtanga Yoga will remove the Ashuddhi Kshaya, the impurities on the buddhi, on chitta, on intellect. And when the impurities are gone, then I will not be attracted or tempted in the direction of adharma, the wrong, bad karma. And once Ashuddhi is gone, then my karma is a better quality, and then further practice goes up to Vivekyati, highest wisdom. Okay. So now, as we have seen, Yam and Niyam, the first two limbs were not that you sit and perform them, they are part of your life. So they are 24/7. They are the factors that determine your lifestyle. Now, when it comes to practicing his prescription of Ashtanga Yoga, it begins from the third limb, statement 46, Sthir Sukham Asanam. So the term asana is being defined here. That is relevant to the body frame, and you bundle your body frame in a particular manner when you want to practice meditation. So he is offering two parameters, sthir meaning unwavering, not stiffness, but unwavering. You are not moving too much. Sukham means, we have seen this word many times, is reasonably comfortable. So you should adopt a body posture. He is not specifying any particular body posture, but he is saying the body posture that you adopt should be allowing you for that much of time duration that you want to devote on meditation practice, 10, 20, 40, 60, as many minutes. But you should practice that your body stays unwavering for that time duration, and also does not cause any sort of pain or thing. It should be comfortable posture. Then how does one know it? If you have attained a good body posture, then he is suggesting that there will be certain signals. You will know it, that your body posture, you have gained proficiency in asana. So he's again offering two factors. Prayatna, prayatna is effort. Shathilya means limited. So what he's saying is prayatna shathilya, meaning it will be this body posture that you have almost perfected, mastered. Now when you wish to adopt it, this is almost effortlessly. So once you have mastered your body posture, he's not specifying which one, but whatever you have chosen, and if it works out well, then you will see it that it doesn't take much effort for you to adopt that particular posture chosen by you. The other thing, the other parameter is offering is Ananta Samapatti Bhyam. Bhyam is a prefix for dual number because there are two factors. The main term is Anant Samapatti. Anant is again endless, no end. So the prefix an is for negation, ant is for end. So the word end and ant, they sound very similar. So ant is end and anant means endless, no end of it. So what does it mean is when you are in your perfected, mastered body posture, otherwise body frame provides you a limit that you exist until this bound is the body bound. But when you have perfected, mastered your body posture, as if you are not in a limited, bounded body domain, you are just floating in an endless sky, in an endless space, so to say. So he's offering, this is a way to test that you have a good mastery over your chosen asana. Okay, statement 48. What does it lead to? Tata, tata becomes tato. Tata means out of that. So out of that, certain things flows. So if you have mastered your body, your chosen body posture, then what will happen? Dvandva. Dvand is the duality. Dva is dve. Two. Dva and two sounds a bit similar. Dva and dva means dipoles. Anabhighat. Ghat is you are attacked. Anabhi, an is again negation. So you are not attacked by what? By the dualities, by the dipoles. So of external forces like cold and hot summer, or you are hungry or thirsty, or you are slightly, so whatever is the body fame and its state and external forces, they do not hurt you, they do not harm you. You are able to tackle them. That was about the third limb of asana. Now the next 49 is about fourth limb of pranayam. But there is a sequential nature that is suggested by the first term, tasmin sati. Tasmin sati means having mastered the previous asana. So as if asana and pranayam are placed sequential. So first you have to master the asana, the body posture, then you can practice pranayama. This is what the first term is saying, tasmin sati. Now he's defining the term pranayama, as is the last term. In between, he is offering the definition of pranayama. What is the definition? Shwas prashwasayo. Again, dual number. Shwas is in breath, prashwas is out breath. So inhalation and exhalation. Prasvasyu gati vicheda means they have certain what should I say? Gati is speed, meaning at certain pace. So typically we are all breathing. This is 24/7. That's what is pranic domain. They are very vital. And once they stop, then the whole system will collapse. So they are always functioning. And they are functioning with certain, in a cyclic form, and there is certain frequency, certain time duration for one cycle. That is gati. So he's saying the time duration taken by the one cycle of inhalation and exhalation. Viched means wake up. So what is pranayam? There is a particular time duration that a cycle of exhalation, inhalation take. And if I intervene somehow, that I disturb that time duration, I make it short or long. If I change it somehow by intervention, that is called as pranayam. So pranayam is being defined as my ability to intervene into the background function of respiratory system that has certain time duration. If I make a change in that time duration, I am doing pranayam. Now he is offering 4 types of pranayam and how they can be classified. So the classification is slightly unusual here. Statement 50 will offer 3 types of pranayam. 51 will tell us the 4th one. So 3 types, 4th type is coming in 51. And then along for the first 3 types, he is offering certain other parameters, how they can be classified. So let's look at it. Statement 50. Bahya Abhyanta Stambhaviti. So there are 3 types of pranayam. He has already defined when you intervene to change their time duration. Now the first type is called Bahya, the outer. He's just giving a name. Meaning when I do the out breath, if I change the time duration of only that part of cycle, namely exhalation, then he calls it as Bahya Pranayam. If I change the time duration of in-breath, inhalation, I make it short or long with respect to what typically my system does in its automated mode. Then it is called Abhyanta Pranayam. Stambhaviti, the third type is I just stop the breathing at a particular juncture, at a particular moment. Suppose my system is doing out breath, but I stop it then and there. I make it airtight system. No further exchange of air between me and the atmosphere. So as and when I do it in that moment, I am doing third type of pranayam, namely just halt, making a halt in the respiratory process. Now he's saying there may be certain more methods to classify it. Desh is space, kal is time. So space-wise, say I am doing out breath. So like in our class, we generally say you focus on the lowest part of the abdomen and evacuate the air from there on. So we want to empty the air from lowest part of abdomen and all things upward, as if diaphragm is at its lowest point, and we want it to traverse the whole stroke length. So saying that you focus on the lowest part of abdomen, that is a space in my body frame. If I said focus on your chest, that is another space parameter. So, if you want to fill in up to abdomen, up to chest, this and so focusing on a particular part of the body frame is desh. Kal, if I say that you want to do it we want to elongate it or we want to shorten it, that will be the kal. Samkhya means number. If we say, let's take 5 of them, let's do 7 times. So that will be the number. Paidashto Digha Sukshma. Now, by saying in the same manner, you can make it very subtle as well as longish. That was statement 50. 3 types of pranayam, but then other parameters like space, time, and numbers. The fourth type is suggesting in statement 51, that is called as Chaturtha, means the fourth type. The 3 ones are here. Now the fourth one is Bahyabhyanta Vishayakshepi. What it means is, the way you can intervene in the fourth manner. The fourth manner is, suppose it was out breath, it was exhalation, but I reverse it. And at that moment, I stop it as well as reverse the mode of air transfer. Rather than out breath, I make it in breath or vice versa. Then this is the fourth type of pranayama. I'm using the term type here. 3 types here, the fourth type here. What we call generally our one cycle of pranayama with 4 phases, namely first phase one is deep exhalation. Deep exhalation is Bahya type, first type of. Now within a cycle, we have included 3 types here. So let us understand it. When we say our phase 1 is deep exhalation, that corresponds to type 1 of Patanjali's classification, namely outer pranayama. Now we say hold the breath out. Now that is Stambhvritti, we call it Kumbhak. Hold the exhalation, we give it a name Rechak, but don't worry about the Sanskrit terms. So they are slightly different from Patanjali's terms here, but no harm. What I'm trying to explain is our one cycle of pranayama has 4 phases, and that 4 phases are based on the 3 types of pranayama that Patanjali is suggesting. Phase 1 is deep exhalation. That is type 1 of Patanjali's classification, namely Bahya, outer. Now then, at phase 2 is, we say hold the breath out. We call it Bahya Kumbhak. No harm, that is our terminology. But that is Stambhvritti, type 3 of Patanjali. We have stopped it at a particular moment. Now, no more as if the system is airtight. No exchange of air between the women, respiratory system and the atmosphere. Then in phase 3, we say deep breathe in, deep inhalation. That is Patanjali's type 2, Abhyanta. And once we have filled in, we again say in phase 4, hold the breath within. That is again type 3, Stambhvritti, type 3 of Patanjali's prescription. So I hope you understand our one cycle of pranayama includes 3 types of pranayama that Patanjali is suggesting. And then we have said to do it 3 cycles minimum, maximum 21. So this Samkhya is there. Number, we say that let us focus on the lowest part. So Desh is there. Kal, the time duration. Our suggestion is that elongate as much as possible until the onset of discomfort. So that is how every individual should find a convenient time frame, that is called. So I hope how statement 50 has guided us to, not me, but Maharishi Dayanand, who writes in his third chapter, how to do the pranayama, and that's what I have adopted. Okay, we are not doing 51. If you wish, you can practice it. Okay, now 52, tata. Just like previously, there was tato, means out of that, what benefit accrues. So he's saying there are two statements describing the benefit of pranayama. Statement 52 says, tata kshiyate prakash avaranam. Tata means out of that. Out of what? Out of pranayama. Kshiyate means it spreads over, it displaces, it degrades. Like when you wash a cloth, the dirt is vanished. So it's kind of vanishing or removing something. Tata kshiyate. Prakash is light, and we have seen in the second chapter the drishya we were talking about, drashta and drishya, the observer and the seen being, and they were brought together by avidya. So this was our fourfold strategy. Chaturvi. He, hetu, han, hanopai. Then he was talking about drishya, this, the thing that we observe, our chitta with the associated chittavritti. Chitta as plus chittavritti. That is what we are observing. That is made of prakriti, matter, which has three implicit gunas, three gunatmak. And then we saw he was describing this as prakash kiya sthiti. So prakash was, so my intellect, my buddhi can emit light of knowledge. That is sattva guna. So now that we are, by way of Ashtanga Yoga, we are entering inward. So if you talk in terms of 5 layers, the first layer is body layer. That corresponds to the third limb of asana. Now the pranic layer, which is the second layer, and corresponds to the fourth limb of pranayama. So now we are going inward from the first layer to the second layer. So now he is saying the benefit of pranayama is our object is to go up to our intellect and even beyond that, disconnect from intellect. So at this point, we are trying to go up to the intellect, which will be the fourth layer of the inner mind. So we have 5 layers, we know it. The body layer, pranic layer, outer mind layer, that does action oriented, inner mind layer, that is intellectual knowledge functioning. And then there is finally Anandamaya Kosh. When I am disconnect from all the 4 layers, I am there. That is, I am with Ishwar, so to say. I am disconnect from my mind also. Now we are in pranic layer when we are discussing pranayama. So he is saying, Tata kshiyate prakash avaram. Prakash is our intellect of the inner mind, the 4th finger. I am sitting at the 2nd finger. What he's saying is, if I practice enough with regard to pranayama, then avaran is the covering over my intellect will be removed, So pranayama helps me remove the covering, as if some clouds have covered my intellect, and by way of pranayama, those clouds will be dispersed. So what he's saying is, pranayama will help me go to the next part of the journey, will be easier so that I can see where I am heading to. If there are clouds, I cannot see where is my destination, etc. So this is his statement 52, one benefit of pranayama. And then in statement 53, he's saying, Dharana sucha yogyata manasa. Dharana is now sixth limb. And we are talking about pranayama, that is fourth. Okay. So let me pose my 5 fingers again. This is the body layer, asana. Pranic layer for which I am doing pranayama. The third finger corresponds to the outer mind, where manas is there. Manas is here. So, in Samkhya we have seen our mind has 3 units. The innermost unit is buddhi, intellect. Then there is one ahankara in between, and this is manas. So ahankara usually is not counted because it is participating in background whether I am engaged with manas or with buddhi. So manas is usually doing the action-oriented, outgoing action, and buddhi is processing incoming knowledge. We are always engaged in knowledge and action. Knowledge has to come up to intellect. So that is the destination point. These things we have discussed in Sankhya at length, but just as a review. So knowledge ends up here, action originate here from manas. Now, when it comes to dharana, we are slightly digressing, but the term dharana is coming. Dharana, so let's say we are talking now Ashtanga Yoga. The third limb was asana here. Pranayam for pranic layer. Next will be pratyahara that we'll discuss in next few moments. That will correspond to manas. And I want to pratyahara, I would like to quieten it, calm down. Then will come dharana. Dharana, dhyana and samadhi, or dharana and dhyan corresponds to the inner mind, buddhi. And when I am disengaged from buddhi, I am in samadhi, then I am in the 5th layer. So in respect to these 5 layers, what are called panchakosha, 5 koshas. If you are familiar, okay. If not, please try to understand it. So the Ashtanga Yoga 8 limbs correspond to an inward journey where I go through the 5 layers one by one. Finally, I want to be in the final Anandamaya Kosh, and that is where I meet that Supreme Being. Just let me put the cable. So, asana is here, pranayama is here, pratyahara is here, dharana and dhyan here at intellect level, and samadhi I want to be in the 5th layer. Okay. So these 5 layers and the limbs of Ashtanga Yoga, we understand it now. Now Patanjali is talking about the 2nd finger pranayama that corresponds to pranic layer, the 2nd layer. And now he's saying that proficiency in pranayama will help you improve the quality of your manas so that you can enter into dharana. Is that okay? So this is the meaning of statement number 53. 52 said that the clouds will disperse, so you can see your destination. Your destination is the intellect there. And now statement 54 is saying, of course, you have to go through Pratyaha, the next, what is called outer mind layer, Manomaya course. But this pranayam will help you improve the quality of this layer so that you can go to the Vijnanamaya course, which is the fourth intellect-based layer. Okay, I think that much is enough for today. When we come to dharana, that is chapter 3, first statement, then we'll talk more. So dharana su cha yogyata, cha means and. Yogyata is ability, it's qualified. It gets qualified. What gets qualified? What gets the ability? The manas, the outer mind. For what? Dharana. So for the purpose of dharana, which is going to be the sixth limb. Okay, so that was statement 53. Now we have the fifth limb of Ashtanga Yoga called Pratyaha. Two statements devoted to it. 54th describes what it is. 55 says what tata meaning out of that. What is the benefit of Pratyaha? So let's try to understand it. The term itself is compound word Prati and Aha. Aha is out of the root Har. Har is to Haran. Even my name is made out of this root, Hayan, Hayish Chandra, something like that. Har means to acquire. Ahar is meaning acquire from all directions. So in modern Indian languages, ahar means food also. Means we want to acquire it and eat it. But here it is generally our five sensory organs want to acquire the knowledge or information what's ongoing in my surroundings. So that is the object, that is what is the purpose of these five sensory organs. They keep me aware of what's happening in my surroundings, my sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch. That is aha. Pati is countering as if these are five inlet doors and I want to shut them off, close them. So that is what is the meaning of pratyahara. So once I have taken a posture and have done the basic breathing and it's disciplining it by way of pranayam, now next I tell my outer mind, that is what connects to five sensory organs, that yes, these five doors are always open, but now it's time to shut them off. We are not interested in knowing what's happening in my surroundings. So you want to shut these doors off so that real time, at least real time, chittavritti is not coming. In Sankhya we have seen it. As a meditation practitioner, we have to struggle to die out, to calm down two kinds of chittavritti. One is the real live one. This is the live one, what is coming from the five sensory organs. The other one, which are more difficult, namely playback, that comes from ahankara direct. It just pops out like in dreams. So at this point, we are talking about pratyaha. We are giving a command to our outer mind that switch off, shut off all the five doors. I am not interested in connected to the world in live mode at this point. As such, not even playback mode, but first we shut off that part. This is a long statement, but let's see it. Swa Vishaya Asampayoge. Vishaya is object of interest. So all the five sensory organs have their corresponding object of interest. So my eyes see something what has a shape and form, etc. My ears are hearing the words and sounds, and so on and so forth. So five sensory organs have corresponding objects of interest. Or sampayoge. Sampayog means well connected, or is again negation. So all the five sensory organs should disconnect from their respective objects of interest. This is the meaning of the first term. Now, chittasya swarupanukar. Of course, the word indriyanam is there, that is for five sensory organs. So five sensory organs is here, evendriyanam. Swavishaya sampayoge. Sanskrit is a language where there is declension, so the words don't have to be like in English. I must say, I go to school. In Hindi, I will say, मैं विद्यालय जाता हूँ. This is how the sentence is framed. Now, corresponding Sanskrit sentence will be aham patshalam gacchami. Now, these three terms can be put either way. Gacchami aham patshalam. Patshalam aham gacchami. They mean the same thing. So there is because within the word patshalam, it is embedded to school, to the school. And gacchami means I go. So within the word, certain things are already embedded. So these three words can be here and there. No, it doesn't change the meaning of it. So that is why even Indriyanam doesn't have to be there, even if it is coming later, because this we call it as Shashti Bahuvachan. What it means is plural, and Shashti meaning genitive case. So genitive case of the sensory organ is embedded here for plural. These are five organs, so they are in plural. So, this word, of course, relates to this. So five sensory organs are made to disconnect from their respective objects of interest. So these two terms, first and fourth, I have translated to you. Now comes second and third. Chittasya swarupanuka. Chit is, we have used it very often. Again, genitive case singular. So chit is single. It's genitive case. What is it? It has something on it. So now what we are saying for dharana, we will put an image on the chitta, is it not? So that will be the swarup of chitta. Now chitta, this chitta will have an image. So that will be, typically sensory organs bring something, information that is affixed on my chitta. But now in Pratyaha, I am telling something else. I am saying, I will superimpose an image on my chitta, and you, all the sensory organs, you should imagine as if that is what is your object of interest. Let me put it another way. Typically, in our day-to-day functioning, in our worldly, like at this moment, what our sensory organs pick up, that is displayed by my chit, and I get to know it. I am observing my chit always. Now in Pratyahar, we are practicing that I will superimpose something here, and I am expecting my sensory organs to adopt that. It is reversal. That's why it is called Pratyahar. So I am saying to all my sensory, I am giving a command that my chit usually acquires what you bring from outside. But now, what I have superimposed on my chit, that is your object of interest, and that's it. So that is called Pratyahar. So this is the meaning of this statement. Okay, statement 55. tata, out of that flows. So if I have practiced pratyaha adequately well, payam means at a highest level, superlative degree. Vashyate meaning control of it. Indriyanam, which is same here, Indriyanam, genitive plural of sensory organs. So thereby I have best or highest control of sensory organs. So as I practice pratyaha, usually my sensory organs go out of the world, outwardly. Now I am bringing them, I am teaching them to be inwardly focused. So I am teaching I am practicing. More and more I sit with closed eyes when meditation. I teach them to shut off your doors and you follow what Chit is doing, rather than Chit adopting what you bring in. So that's where we stand today. We are at the end of the second chapter. 5 limbs of Ashtanga Yoga have been discussed. And why does he change the chapter? He will himself justify it, that these 5 limbs are outer yoga, peripheral, preparatory, and then dharana, dhyan, samadhi, because that corresponds to chitta now. This is where, as I was showing my 5 fingers, this is the 4th layer. So after this was asana, pranayam, pratyahara. Now dharana and dhyan will correspond to this. The 4th finger, which is Vijnanamaya core, inner mind layer, where my buddhi and chit is lying. That is what I am always observing. And yoga is chittaveti niyod. So I want to subdue all that appears on my chit. That is the real yoga. That is called Antang Yoga. So he is switching to the next chapter. And giving us a message. This is preparatory, non-mandatory, discretionary. If you are well practiced, you may not need them. You can go straight to dharana. So these are implicit suggestions in categorizing Ashtanga. First category was first and second limb, yam and niyam. They are universal. They are your lifestyle. It's not that you do them 15 minutes a day. They are the way you live. That is the way you live. And then asana, pranayam, pratyaha is preparatory in nature, corresponding to the body layer, pranic layer, and mental layer, outer mind. Now we are making a jump, dharana. As you will see now, we will devote next 10 minutes to our practice. And I might as well show you in this diagram. Now you will probably appreciate it better. That what I call about dual jump. So when you move to dharana, so this was our, we have said yam niyam is lifestyle. So our numbering is asana, which is number 3 in Patanjali's Ashtanga Yoga, is number 1 for practice part. So for practice part, 1, 2, 3 are outer yoga. That's why there is a line here, transition from outer yoga to inner yoga. The number 1 here is related to your body frame, the first layer out of the Panch Kosh 5 layers. Number 2 is related to Pranamaya Kosh, the pranic layer. Number 3 is related to Manomaya Kosh, the outer mind, that is more concerned with outgoing action. For incoming knowledge is intellect layer, that is called Vijnanamaya. The objective of all this yoga is to transcend these 4 layers and finally end up in Anandamaya. In order to reach there, I must make this thoroughly inactive, make my chitta blank. That is what is called chittaveti nirodha. Subdue all that appears on my chitta. Now I say again, please listen to this carefully. As I jump from Pratyahara to Dharana, there is a dual jump. This is dual jump. Step number one is from Manomaya Kosh to Vijnanamaya Kosh, from outer mind to inner mind. Now, within the inner mind, this is called intellect as well as chitta. Now, the implicit jump number two is, I don't want to end up at buddhi level, I want to end up at the chitta level. So, if I go jump pratyahara to dharana and I end up here at buddhi level, then I am intellectually functioning. But when I sit for yoga practice, I don't want to do thinking. So I want to get rid of thinking. So thinking is when I process the knowledge here. So that's why we always say in dharana, we want to have one single image. Image is not moving, otherwise it becomes a cinema. Cinema meaning this instrument is functioning as buddhi. I want this instrument to be quiet at the level of chitta. So that's why we devoted one full session on buddhi versus chitta. That was very important. So now please understand it carefully. Pratyahara to dharana requires two jumps. From manomaya kosh to vijnanamaya kosh, from outer mind to inner mind. But within inner mind, I don't want to end up at buddhi level, at intellect level. I want to end up at chitta level. So that is what I mean. That's why we have all these first three steps where buddhi is functioning as buddhi. But now as I end up in dharana, I want just single image, chittaveti, one only. And the one which we have decided to carry forward is mental recitation of that sound. So I hope you understand this. I say because I will say 99% of meditation practitioners in the world are actually at the pratyahara level. They are not even going to dharana, nothing to talk about dhyan, because they don't understand the dharana, and that we will see next week why Vyas is emphasizing chitta vritti matra. So there is only one image, and that is just affixed totally. We don't want it to get displaced. It's not a cinema. So if you are thinking, if you are listening to a music, if you are observing your breathing, you are in pratyaha, you are not in dharana, So let's see. Okay. I think theoretically we want to understand things as well as possible, but finally, are we able to achieve it? That is what counts. So we have to realize all this and understand. And I hope a theoretical understanding will help you improve your practice also. Okay, I am setting a timer for 10 minutes, which I will switch on when we get into Dharana. So let's do 3 cycles of breathing today. So we have discussed it today, so we hope you can correlate it. So let's follow this scheme as well as possible, as good as. So number one, maybe stretch your body. Feel that all the body joints are relaxed. Okay. Now we do 3 cycles of deep breathing, each individual cycle with 4 phases. And here it begins. Deep breathe out. Hold the breath out. Deep breathe in. hold it within. Deep breathe out, second cycle. Hold it out. Deep breathe in. Hold it within. The third and final. Deep breathe out. Hold it out. Deep breathe in. Hold it within. That completes our step number 2 in this list, called Parayam. We have disciplined our breathing. We take a short pause just to ensure that our mind is not hooked to the body or breathing anymore. As far as breathing is concerned, we know it will go on in its automated manner. Now we are ready for the Pratyahar, where we announce to our mind as well as to our sensory organs that I want to be with that Supreme Consciousness whose name is Om. Let's recite this sound 3 times together and then continue with its mental recitation. If anything else appears on our mind, we switch back to its mental recitation. Here it begins. Om. 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 Okay, that was our session number 14. Any questions, comment? Now we can welcome.
Acharya, can you please talk about Chittasya Swarup Anukar, which you covered before?
Yeah.
Specifically the word Anukar, what that means, would appreciate it.
Anukar meaning following it. Anu means following it. So as I was saying, typically what is brought in by sensory organ is displayed by chitta. Now it is being said, whatever chitta is displaying, that should be followed by the sensory organs. So the word Anukar meaning they should do what chitta is doing.
And Swarup here is image.
Swarup meaning, of course, Indriyas are there, but, as if, you is as if. So as if they have gathered what Chit is displaying. Is that okay? Any other question, comment? So we can wind it up for today and have a good time. See you again next week. Yes.